Oh my gosh, I gotta show you guys this. Double the luxury for half the price. I hope you all can see through this kind of stuff now, understand and take it for what it really is. Hello everybody, the title of this video is Let There Be No Doubt What Really Happened to Panama City, Panama Republic. Clearly the case in the Dominican Republic, also manifesting in Medellin, Colombia, and Mexico, and all the places on the Ram Magazine trail. Guys, I've made a lot of videos, several videos already about foreign property. As a reference point, I would like you to keep this video in your thoughts and go to it after the video. Amazing cheap beach property, Ecuador versus USA. The Ram magazines try to tell you that cheap beach property abroad is $100 a foot. But what I wanted to do today is show you something else. We know that it's the Ram magazines, but I just wanted to show, I just ran into this and I thought, oh my gosh, I gotta show you guys this. So take a look at this. Panama real estate, okay, double the luxury for half the price, okay? Now let's let that sink in a little bit.
Double the luxury for half the price.
They're not saying move to Panama and have a nice life. They're enticing people with not even just luxury, but double the luxury. I've made several other videos where I talk about how every ad in Panama for real estate, like in magazines, little leaflets, magazines, real estate magazines, they all precede with the word luxury on all the properties. And I want to show you something. Double the luxury for half the price. You know, this is where this is coming from, where it's enticing people. And it's not just double the luxury at half the price. It says here, first world luxuries at third world cost. So it's not just at half price, but it's at third world cost. This is how they're enticing people. According to the dictionary, how do you define luxury real estate in today's market? So when half the homes on the market, now in Panama it's all of them, not just half of them. So when half the homes on the market are suddenly marketed as luxury, the definition of the word starts to melt away. Boy, you couldn't have said that better. If you say a word enough times, it starts to lose its meaning. And in real estate, where the right description can draw buyers to a home on the market, using the right terms is crucial. And that's what it's all about, is enticing people. Think about this for a moment. I have to ask myself, what is somebody trying to accomplish when they try so hard? You know, I mean, this isn't just, here, look at these bargains. It's double the luxury at third world prices, you know. So when you hear this, what does that do to you? What does that do to somebody that, you know, that it evokes their greed? That's what it does. It's all about evoking the greed. This is not just emotion, any old emotion. It's greed.
Double the luxury for half the price.
And so when half the homes on the market are suddenly marketed as luxury, the definition of the word starts to melt. And that's clearly the case in Panama. But I have also showed you guys how it's clearly the case in the Dominican Republic. It's clearly also manifesting in Medellin, Colombia, and Mexico, and all the places on the Ram Magazine trail. But the term luxury has been used to describe everything from ultra-luxury homes to the world's wealthiest 1%. Okay, so world's wealthiest 1%. There's no checklist for labeling a property as luxury. If you compare the Panama prices to these 13 amazing American beach towns you can actually afford in video that I made, the prices are actually 200% to 250% higher in Panama than in these 13 amazing American beach towns you can actually afford in. And that's my point of this video, is that what happened to a place like Panama? What happens to these places? I've been saying to you guys all along how the Rams like to funnel tens of thousands of wealthy people all in the same areas. And this is part of how it's done.
First world luxuries at third world cost.
It does make an example here. Okay, property samples in Panama City. Let's take a look at this real quick. In the San Francisco area, that is the tourist area, 860 square feet for $78,000. And you're going to see these kinds of prices down here. 800 square feet for $79,000 or $80,000. Betania is not even all that central. And here's 900 square feet for $139,000. So they're around $100 a foot to $130 a foot. And the thing is that they are saying these prices at $100 to $130 a foot are double the luxury at third world prices. And yet here we see 13 amazing American beach towns you can actually afford to live in. Amazing cheap beach property. This is Ecuador versus USA beach real estate. But really it could be Panama property versus USA beach property, or Dominican Republic property versus USA beach property, or Medellin property. You know, you get my point. My point is they're saying that $100 to $130 a foot was double the luxury at third world prices. Now the prices have doubled and 250% higher in Panama now, thanks to this kind of promotion. And yet you can still go to the 13 amazing beach towns in the USA and get property for half or less. Actually, I found 7 acres on a lake in Florida. It's a lake right here, right on the water. This lake right here, Hicks Lake. It's only around 50 kilometers, less than an hour drive, maybe 30, 40 minutes from Panama City Beach. So you can have your cake and eat it too. And this was 7 whole acres for $70,000 or something like that. And okay, so that's what I wanted to focus on today, is the Panama real estate double the luxury for half the price.
First world luxuries at third world cost.
So I hope you all can see through this kind of stuff now, understand and take it for what it really, really is. Now, I wanted to say that regarding property, this thing about, getting luxury property at half or third world prices, they did the same thing to Manta, Ecuador. The International Living called Manta the next place where property prices were going to go up. All the speculators rushed in, right? And the properties ballooned, because as you can see, they know how to form property bubbles. I know I've talked about all this stuff, but I am getting to a point. We've written blogs on the Discover Cuenca Ecuador blog saying, when you buy in a town like this, you're not just buying the property, you're buying the town. You're buying the whole town, the city that you live in. So if you don't know anything about the area, you're sitting here just looking at articles like this to get your greed up. What I'm saying is that nobody, and I mean nobody, was saying and telling people that that was an earthquake zone except for DiscoverCuencaEcuador.com. In our literature, in all of our books and literature, we told people, we will not live there. It is an earthquake zone. Nobody was saying that. The only time you heard anybody saying that and warning people was after the fact, after the earthquake, after people lost their property. Recently, there was another debacle from Canadians losing a lot of money on property on the Ecuador coast, which I won't go into detail in this video, but there was some other elements to that are important, that there were a little bit of a twist on the normal, on the normal bubble forming kind of articles that I'll talk about in the Patreon. So again, we were not only the first ones to warn people about the earthquake zone, but we were the only ones. We were the first and only ones to do so. And then after the fact, which, you know, is pretty meaningless after everybody's lost life and property and such, to say, oh, that's an earthquake zone, you know. After the fact, then you heard some people deciding to say something. But in the beginning, people listened to these kinds of bubble forming articles, and people go for that. They don't heed the warnings, and they don't listen. And in that respect, I guess everybody gets what they bargained for, right? I hate to say that. Yeah, I do. Because you can be penny wise and pound foolish. You can come here to our website and you can buy our books, and then you can know the truth. So guys, in conclusion, these articles that are solely designed to create a stampede into places like Panama, Dominican Republic, Medellin, these articles that are designed, let's do some critical thinking. If $100 to $130 a foot is considered double the luxury at half the price, then the same price of $100 to $130 a foot in the 13 amazing beach cities in the USA that are still priced at that are still double the luxury at half the price. And yet Panama's prices now have almost tripled. What do you make of that? That confirms everything I've been saying on this channel for years, that these places on the circuit of RAM magazines are to be stayed away from if you want to make some sense out of your financial life. Because as you can see, it doesn't stay that way. And therefore, you know, as I've said in many other videos, what is the point of rushing down to some place that's just going to double and triple in prices, and then you aren't going to be able to live there? And this idea that if you don't have the knowledge, which is what we impart on this channel, this is an informational, partly what it is, it's an informational channel. And when you get the information that we provide, then it gives you a foundation that helps you stay out of this kind of thinking. If you have this kind of thinking that says, well, maybe there's a reason why it costs that much. And it tells you specifically that the reason doesn't have anything to do with intrinsic value. In other words, it isn't because it's worth that, you know, in a way. When I say worth that, meaning you can get the very same or better property for less than half or half the cost in these other 13 beach cities. And if you can do that in beach cities, think about what you can do in other cities that aren't even beach cities, because beach cities tend to kind of get sometimes a lot of tourism, and it drives up prices. So imagine if you went a little bit further out from there, like being on a lake in Florida, or just being out in the country. Matter of fact, you know, I can show you how to live. Really, I don't want to sound like a RAM magazine, so I'm not going to talk that way. But really, I can show you how to really live in your own country. And I've been working on this course now for a while, and we're making a lot of progress on it. So if you're interested in something like that, sign up. Go to the link below, sign up, and I can show you how to really live when it comes to finances. Because when you look at what's happening to these places on the RAM magazines circuit, take a look at what I've been saying now for years. Just really take a good hard look at it, and you realize it's just, it's sad is what it is. It's sad. Because there's people right next door to these people that make $300 a month. I can show you how to get food cheaper. I can show you how to get real estate cheaper. I can show you how to get clothing cheaper. I can show you how to have hobbies. I can show you how to travel within the US. I can show you. I've also already showed you that the rental prices, not just in Panama, but in the Dominican Republic and all these other places on the RAM circuit, are at $100 or more per foot for rentals. So an 800 square foot place is like $800, and a 2,000 square foot place is like $2,000. It just brings back the idea that to go abroad to developing countries and pay the same prices or higher than the US, and the property's cheaper in the 13 amazing beach towns in the US. Property's outright cheaper. But for the rentals, when you're comparing to these high price rentals, you know, it makes a lot of sense in the US to buy. And it makes a lot of sense to buy property there. So thanks for listening, guys.